One of the focal points about the upcoming Kong King of Monsters movie and the entire Monsterverse is Hollow Earth, the term, or we should say the place where all kinds of monsters reside. And today, we're gonna take a look at some of them which are possible to make their appearance in the upcoming movie. And all you have to do is sit back and enjoy as we unveil some of the biggest baddies we're expecting to see on the big screen. Recap. We were all witnesses to the fact that the underground corner of the Monsterverse was not the setting for any of Kong's fight with Godzilla, but it was ultimately central to the plot of the movie. And while the characters tied to the Team Godzilla side of the story were focused on the mystery of Apex and the real reason for Godzilla's aggressive behavior towards humanity, Kong's journey, on the other hand, pertained to the Hollow Earth. Apex discovered an invaluable resource far beneath the surface of the Earth and was willing to do anything to get it. As a result, Dr. Nathan Lind, Dr. Eileen Andrews, Gia, and Maya Simmons traveled to an access point to Hollow Earth in Antarctica. Kong was taken with them, believed for him to guide them through the tunnels leading to the energy source Apex needed. The place we're discussing here has been loosely based on a real-life idea that dates back hundreds of years. Ancient civilizations had myths about this place, an entire world that exists underground, hidden from the eyes of the humans. In the 18th century, some scientists firmly believed in the Hollow Earth theory, which hinted that the planet was hollow and that there's something beneath the surface of the Earth, a massive space under it. This has been disapproved long ago by the scientific community, but it seems like the Monsterverse brought it back in an interesting way and expanded on it. Hollow Earth monsters. Through the Hollow Earth, Godzilla vs. Kong introduced several new monsters into the Legendary's Monsterverse and took the audiences on what was only a brief trip to the Titan's underground lair. But this brief spectacle served as a focal point of the story for the entire movie. The Hollow Earth portion of King of Monsters showed off a forgotten underwater city that once worshipped Godzilla and Titans. At the time, as we said before, this was only a theory. The entire concept of Hollow Earth, but the secret tunnel system used by the Titans and the brief showcased moment proved that this was not just a theory, but the reality the Monsterverse lives in. A reality that originated in Kong's Skull Island and expanded in future iterations, eventually confirming that both humans and Titans lived there in peace once.
Launch props.
Godzilla vs. Kong went even further with the Monsterverse and explored this birthplace of the Titans, a place where both of them and Kong's ancestors lived in this place thousands of years ago, all gone now, but there are plenty of monsters who still live there and never made it to the surface. Thus, next we're gonna talk about some of the monsters we're able to see in the previous iterations of the Monsterverse, some for a brief moment and some a little bit more, but with all of them having the chance to make a comeback in the release of the upcoming sequels from the Monsterverse, with the possibility of new monsters making their debut for the first time on the big screen, seeing how Hollow Earth is gonna be the main focus in what's in store. In the first scenes when the two descended to the Hollow Earth, the first creatures we were shown were flying beasts, with physical features of pterodactyls, which looked very similar to the ones we saw in the Skull Island sequence at the beginning of the movie. Apex's aerial vehicle was ambushed by two large monsters who were called Warbats, a name confirmed by the merchandise of the franchise. These creatures have serpent-like bodies, red wings that enable them to fly, and of course, an impressive set of fangs, posing a physical challenge even for Kong. After Kong finally managed to scare off the Warbats, he accidentally woke up a group of crab-like monsters that blended in with the ground and slept underneath the rocks. We only saw them for a brief moment as we saw them getting eaten by another new monster, a four-legged carnivorous reptile. The spikes on its back instantly drew comparisons to Toho's Anguirus. Godzilla's iconically from the past, but it's highly unlikely. And we say this because there aren't enough spikes to be seen, nor the spiked nose of the Toho Kaiju. In our opinion, our educated guess goes to this creature being closer to the skeleton from King of the Monsters, Underwater City. However, that particular creature looked most like Toho's Baragon, a horned kaiju known for burrowing underground. We've been given a simple but somewhat particular look to the Hollow Earth's domain. Hellhawks were the monsters that clung to the ceiling of the caverns, creatures with wings like bats and the beaks and talons of a bird of prey. They're not that big to be called Titans, but they would go on to be one of the biggest threats to humans. One of the creatures, which we haven't seen for a while, is the MUTO, or Massive Unidentified Terrestrial Organism, with a pair of them, a female and a male, being presented to us. And a third one, another female debuting in 2014's Godzilla movie, prehistoric parasites who wreak havoc on human civilization as they're drawn to the man-made radiation. The pesky pack-hunting predators we saw in Kong Skull Island are called skull crawlers, bulletproof species of crawling carnivore lizard creatures, coming in both frightful airplane size and also towering alpha size like Skull Devil, the kind who killed Kong's parents, which points out to the fact that they're strong and that we haven't seen the last of them just yet, seeing the connection these creatures have with Kong himself. A memorable scene was with the mammoth mother Longlegs, a gargantuan spider with lethal limbs that our heroes didn't know they had walked under. Leaf wings are the creatures you don't want to face, as a flock of these would mean you're in a world of hurt. They look harmless enough from far away, but when in close-up, these heinous beasts attack in groups. So we'll probably see them as they like to carry their prey after they've weakened them, making problems in future iterations on the human factor in the movie to come. One of the most powerful beasts in the Monsterverse is the Mothra, a massive psychic moth who comes with her tiny priestesses, fairies in the original films. The beast first debuted in her solo movie in 1961, so we could see the return of these beasts playing a major role in Kong, King of Hollow Earth, with Kong having some mental problems when facing this thing. Rodan, dating back to 1956, and an even older beast than the Mothra, is the famous flying kaiju based on the prehistoric Pteranodon. Faster than supersonic jets, able to produce destructive winds and shockwaves with his wings, the Rodan has the air and speed advantage over Kong, but we might see him getting stomped by some other means, just like how Mothra gained the upper hand back in the day. And lastly, the next Kong movie will probably be the movie when other minor new titans will make their appearance, which are original creations rather than adaptations of existing Toho monsters, including the likes of Methuselah, a massive armored creature, Skyla, the crab-like titan who emerges from underneath a Texan oil field, and Behemoth, a huge mammalian titan who's a combination of a woolly mammoth and a sloth. Several other monsters that had cameo appearances might show in the upcoming movie, however, this time having much more screen time, including the likes of Baphomet, Abaddon, Leviathan, Bunyip, Sargon, Mokele Mbembe, Typhoon, and Tiamat, with them playing a much bigger role this time around when compared to them just being referenced or there only for show. On a related note, tell us down in the comments below what are your thoughts about these monsters, which of these would you like to see make an appearance, and why. And also don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon if you'd like to see more videos like this in the future. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.